Depp has spoken in interviews about the instability of his early life, how his father left and how that shaped his emotional world. For example, there are mentions of his father's absence affecting him. YouTube +2 interview.Johnny Depp Zone2com +2. In one older interview he says, "My father left and my mother and I moved. I always felt a little bit like I was searching for something." Paraphrased from interview archive interview.JohnnyDeppZone2.com. This context helps explain why, when he looks back, he might feel a sense of loss. Why always with me? Type questioning of his own journey. On fame, past mistakes and changing perspective. In a more recent interview, 2024-25, he discussed his legal battles, his public image, and how he arrived at an understanding of his life. He said, "Honestly, I can sit here this very second and think about all the hit pieces. How everybody was against me. I went through it all. People.com +1. He also added, "I don't have any ill feelings toward anyone. Why carry that baggage?" People.com. This kind of reflection indicates that he is confronting the past rather than denying it. He acknowledges pain, conflict, and consequence. On relationships, patterns, and self-reflection, in the same recent interview, he makes a deeper comment about how his early family patterns, particularly his mother-father relationship, shaped how he entered intimate relationships. He said, "What were my initial dealings with what we call love? Clearly obtuse, and it is merely a sliver of my life I have chosen to explore, because it is my mother and my father." The times, in other words, he recognizes that he was drawn into relationships in a way that echoed his childhood inner life. That internal reflex can cause emotional reaction when he looks back. On not having chased fame and how love manifested in a June 2025 interview, Depp said, "Fame is the last thing I ever chased," and added that love, in his life, was manifested differently. The Times of India. This reinforces the notion that he has been looking back at his life with a changed lens, not just as a star, but as a human being with wounds, with non-standard expectations and non-conventional emotional templates. Why he might tear out while remembering or ask, "Why always with me?" Given all of the above, here are plausible reasons why Depp might have emotional moments when recalling his past. Unresolved wound from childhood, the early loss, absence of his father, moving around, etc., leaves a legacy of abandonment or searching. That kind of wound doesn't always disappear. It shows up in memory, regret, longing, a sense of being on a roller coaster, fame, legal battles, being judged publicly, all that can trigger reflection. How did I end up here? Why me? Recognizing patterns. When he sees his adult relationships reflect his early family dynamics, that can stir emotional pain or regret. Why do I keep repeating this? Or why was I drawn here? Reflection on lost time. Innocence. When a person realizes that part of their life was taken over by fame, expectations, litigations, misunderstandings, they may ask, "Where did I go? What did I lose?" Growth and acceptance mixed with grief. He says he doesn't carry ill will, he wants to learn. But acceptance doesn't always eliminate sorrow. Sometimes you weep for what could not be changed. Highlights and quotations. Honestly, I can sit here and think about all the hit pieces. I went through it all. People.com +1. I don't have any ill feelings toward anyone. Why carry that baggage? People.com. What were my initial dealings with what we call love? Clearly obtuse. Merely a sliver of my life I have chosen to explore, because it is my mother and my father. The Times. Fame is the last thing I ever chased. Love was manifested in a different way. The Times of India 7. Conclusion. While I did not find a publicly documented moment where Johnny Depp tears out while remembering his old days, crying, "Why always with me?" exactly in that phrasing, I found substantial evidence that he does reflect emotionally on his past. He acknowledges childhood instability, relationship patterns born of that, the cost of his fame and public life, and the necessity to learn rather than to carry bitterness. My friends, subscribe to the channel, and I wish you good luck. You should take care of yourself. So